Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with Ready to Love Season 6, Episode 10. Child, let's get into it if we're gonna get into it. If y'all are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you are back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Child, let's get into it because, honey, the juice didn't start till the end of the episode. Basically, we could have cut the entire first 30 minutes of this boring episode and went straight to the tea. But child, let's go. So when the episode first opens up, Tori is not ready to love. After 40 minutes of Sabrina giving a speech, girl, just say, Tori, you're not ready to love, child. But he left very graciously, and he knew where he went wrong. He said that he went wrong having tunnel vision when it came to Sabrina. He put all of his eggs into Sabrina's basket and his 2 cupcakes, child, and he wished he would have cultivated relationships with the other women. Tori all right with me. He just needs to let go of the kidney transplants and whatnot, and he gonna be all right. Moving forward. Tommy said, Paul, well, you're back to being Paul. Oh, Tommy. He always got to give Paul a hard time, child. So Tommy tells them that they will all gather together at the end of the week. So the kid was like, wait a minute. He didn't say anybody was going home. So we'll see what happens. So they go back inside. Demetrius is over there talking to Sabrina, telling her that he wants to continue outside of the show. And he said, it's just about what you want. She's like, I just want to make sure that we have a good balance of, it was like a balance of what? She said, love and affection, because we're both used to people coming after us. Meanwhile, Joy, Karma, and Dakia, they in the wings just watching. Here go Joy. I don't got no popcorn. Girl, it ain't that juicy, honey. You ain't gonna need no popcorn. So she tells him that they both need to be more proactive. Basically, chase me, sir. Okay, pursue me. That's what she wants, child. But she just talking in circles. He said, it's just unusual for me. This situation is unusual, but I don't want that to be a concern. She said now that Tori is gone, this is what she's saying in her confessional, she can focus on her connections with both Donovan and Demetrius. She said, she said she can send a text or she can call, but she's going to need that in return. Demetrius seems like the type to not want to work for a relationship. Like, he seems like he rests on his nice suits and his beard. Or maybe that's just me. So then he says in his confessional that he hasn't given her 100% because she's pursuing other people. And for me, I can kind of understand that, but then at the same time, it sounds like excuses because that's the nature of this show. You don't have to focus only on her, but you're not even giving 80%, child. What are you giving? In the next scene, Donovan and Carmen, they're in the hot tub, all cuddled up and whatnot. And she says she's going to focus on him because she can see a future with him. So they're getting cozy. And she asked him if he was nervous that he was going home. He was like, yeah, I was kind of nervous. He said, but the way I feel now, I feel like I can see the two of us together. So if you're ready and you feel the same way, then we could take it to the next level. Oh, okay. So Sabrina is stuck with Deacon Demetrius by default. Got it. Moving forward. Child, she blushing and whatnot. She says she feels the same about him, and she was like, but, I see you looking at Sabrina. She was like, she's a good girl. And I was like, oh, okay, that's sweet. But then she goes, but I'm a better woman. And we're back. Carmen just could not help herself. Carmen, focus on you, my dear. If you focused on more of what you were doing as opposed to every damn body else, you would be better off. Child, and you wouldn't be fussing and fighting with Paul at the end of this episode. But child, we're going to get to it. So Donovan said, since Tina isn't there, that he's focused on Sabrina and Carmen. And baby, he was feeling that hot tub action. Inside, the kid just hanging out. Girl, you need to go, honey, because it's a wrap. So she's still in her feelings behind Clifton being with Joy all weekend. So then he walked by with his knees out, talking about what's going on, what you doing, what you up to, where you going. She's sitting there thinking about life. Poor thing. That was sad to watch. That was a sad sight. She said, I feel like he could have just told me, like he still hasn't told me what his choice is, but a blind man can see that he's made his choice. All facts. So Clifton sits down and he's talking about, well, I know you feel away because I've been spending all my time with Joy and I haven't spent any time with you. I know I'm in the hot seat. She was like, no, it's no hot seat. I can see the connection and I care about you and I want you to get what you want. Well, honey, he is. So she said, I'm not going to lie. I am in my feelings. He said, well, look, I plan to spend time with you, but my connection when I got here with Joy was just so strong. Sir, cut the bull, okay? Your connection with Joy been strong, Oh, it's a numbers game. I feel like you and Joy been doing y'all thing outside of this whole situation, and you knew that the two of you were going to make it to the end. But in order to make it to the end, you could not just have Joy. You had to have someone else that liked you as well so they could fight for you in eliminations. That's where Dakia comes in. I do think you liked her, but not to the extent of wanting to date her. And you ain't fooling me. And she was just thrown in there for good measure. So Dakia was very classy. She said, I saw it, but I just felt like you should tell me instead of just flaunting it in my face. Like, just be a man about it. Shout out to Tony Braxton. Like, just tell her. He agrees that he should have just told her and not beat around the bush and whatnot. And she said she thought that they had a strong connection as well. In his confessional, he's like, Dakia is a very nice lady, but Joy is just my stronger connection. So then he hugged her and, she was getting some feels. And I was like, nope, Dakia, no hugging. Do not hug him. Get up and walk away. Child, a hug will get you in trouble. I'm telling y'all don't know the power of a good hug. Don't be sitting up in there cuddling up with him, honey. Nah, let him go. So she was just telling us that she let her guard down with him and now she has to put it back up. Moving forward. So she lets go and says, well, let me go. Here he go. Where you going? Honey, if I were her, I'd be going home. I would be on the I-10 by 10. Child, she looked so sad. Baby, she actually shed a tear. Dakia. She was really invested in old wide back Clifton. I wish you would have just been up front. I really do hate to see her hurting, but her man is not on this show. This show is not for you. Okay, you were a little iffy in the beginning when you told Demetrius he had BDE, but you're back. And so, I just don't feel like your man is on this show. In the next scene, Demetrius, Clifton, and Joy, they're in the hot tub. So Clifton gets in and Joy was like, you good? He said, well, I am, but other people are not. She's like, I'm not worried about that. I asked if you were good. Well, damn, Joy. I'm glad you were not on the other end of that closure conversation. Child, Joy's starting to get a little cocky. Joy happy as hell. Child, she talking about getting naked in the hot tub and kissing and nibbling on the ears and whatever. Meanwhile, Demetrius and Sabrina, they trying to do something, child. What? I don't know. He rubbing her feet and getting close to her, but it's giving forced. Okay, it's giving very much forced. So then Joy and Clifton, they share a little kiss. So then they show everybody going to bed, right? Carmen and Donovan, baby, they get in the same bed. They getting cozy. While Paul turning out his nightlife fully clothed. I said, oh, Lord. Paul, you and Dakia and Tina can go, okay? Because it's going down in those other rooms. Do you hear me? And baby, they ain't fooling me. I don't care what they say. Y'all ain't in there sleeping head to foot. In the next scene, Tina shows up at the 11th hour. Girl, where you been? Everybody looking crazy, acting strange. So then she sits down and she's like, I feel like I missed everything. You absolutely did, okay? The episode and the trip almost over. Girl, him and Carmen ended up in the same bed, so it's a wrap for you and Donovan for sure. So she pulls Donovan to the side so they can talk when she really wasn't saying anything at all. So they go upstairs, right? And so she tells him, she's like, I just feel that it's best for me to what? Best for you to what? Okay, spit it out. So then she tells him that she had to be real with herself about her connection and she doesn't think that her bonds are strong enough with the guys. He's like, oh, okay, well, you are definitely not in good standing with the guys. Donovan, I don't think she cares. But my thing is this, girl, why did you even show up? So he was like, do you want to be here? She said, I don't know. And again, why did you show up? That would be my question. She was kind of like, oh, well, it is what it is. Tina, that was a waste of a drive. You could have just waited till they got back. Why did you pull him to the side just to be like, it's whatever. I don't know. I'm confused. Get it together. So she goes outside and she's like, I'm a little bit overwhelmed. I just need a moment. Girl, you had a moment on the way up there. So then in the kitchen, they're asking Paul if he wanted to go out and talk to her. He was like, I've decided against it. Theo, he was like, I'm not for the fake it's too late. Child, I think it's going to be okay. He said he's going to just focus on Dakia. I do not see him and Dakia being a couple, but at this point, child, go and set yourself off. So they're inside talking about all things Tina. Here go Joy. She going to come in at the end and expect me to be like, hey, girl. Hell no. Joy, what is all this hostility that you have for Tina? Did she connect to Clifton on the slick? Like, what is going on? Her not showing up should not affect you in this way. You should be okay with it. Girl. So Donovan is telling them that he told her that the guys are over her. Carmen said, you told her that? He said, I sure did. So here go Carmen, because you know she got to go outside and make sure everything's still messy. So she goes out to talk to Tina, and she's trying to figure out why she just now showing up. She said, well, the only person that I really have a connection with is Donovan. Baby, the look on Carmen's face. She said, Donovan? Now wait, hold up now. What about Demetrius? That was so funny to me. I said, girl, now wait a minute, hold him up, swell him up. Oh, child. She was like, girl, because I was in deliberations with you, and you said, okay, specifically, Demetrius, Paul, and that's it. She said, well, you know, Demetrius reminds me of that ex, and Paul, his energy is off. So Carmen feels like that Tina didn't come there for love. So she was like, so what you gonna do, girl? She said, I don't know. I just feel like I don't have a connection with anyone here. She's like, I wanted to find love, but now I'm realizing that I may not be ready to love. Absolutely not. In the next scene, child, they all get back, and Paul and Dakia go to this dinner date. Dakia, you look pretty, girl. And he remembers that she drinks red wine. That was nice. These two BFFs. Over on the other side, Joy and Clifton, they go to dinner, and she comes in and jumps into his arms and whatnot. And she's like, I really enjoyed the weekend. He said, me too. All of it. Well, we all know what that means. Okay, they got it popping. And she's like, well, let me say, allegedly. She said, yeah, you know what's necessary. Baby, this body language right here in this conversation, it says we got more than close on this trip. Okay? They start talking about the weekend and whatnot. And I have to say, they do make a nice looking couple. Quite frankly, they are the only connection that is on this season. This season is very awkward, very weird. The energy is off. I don't know what's happening. So then Joy was like, well, you know, all we did was sleep. As much as you be on that man, ain't no way y'all just slept all weekend. You could sell that to somebody who's buying it, because it's definitely not me. Back with P.O. and Dakia, they're having a whole other conversation about the trip, and she starts talking about how she still, you know, loves love even though she's been hurt. And Paul really likes her a lot. Back with Clifton and Joy, they're talking about what could happen past the process. Over there with Paul, he's actually making some leeway with Dakia. She was like, you know what? Just because it didn't work out with Clifton does not mean that the man for me is not here. Someone that will choose me and protect my heart. Back over with Clifton and Joy. Clifton is telling Joy that they're in more than like. Well, what happens after like? Is love? Child, so it took me some time to get to the place that you wanted me to be. Y'all know I take every opportunity to sing that song, child. Ooh, I love that ditty. So anyway, he said there are more than like. She completes his thoughts. She completes his sentences. Okay. And baby, she is enamored with him. So baby, they looking at each other from across the table. So then she gets up and gives him a kiss. Joy, sit it down. I like the two of you together. I just want him to come in sometime for the kisses. Girl, let him work just a little bit. You kissed him first in that hot tub too. Ooh. Well, it's safe to say that these two are official like a referee with a whistle. In the next scene, everyone is meeting with Tommy for brunch. Carmen back in them blue contacts, wearing blue jean. Carmen, let those contacts, every time you put them contacts on, you get to acting a fool. So Tommy asked them if they heard from Tina. Tommy, why are you asking them? Y'all haven't heard from her? Have you checked in on her? Especially since she said she had car trouble. Charlie, be your own show. Moving forward. So they're like, well, you know, she came basically as we were pulling out of the parking lot. And Donovan said that he asked her why she came and she had no answer. So Tommy said, well, that's okay. I'm going to speak to her because this ain't fair to y'all because y'all are here for love. All right, Tommy. So then he asked Joy about her connection, child. You know, she gonna ooh, I, and all that, child. They addressed her concerns, and his concerns with Joy would be her keeping in touch with exes. Let's skip on past them and get to the mess. So, baby, then he asked Paul. This is where it gets tense. He said, you know, when I met Tina, I felt like she was solid. Tommy said, okay, so how do you feel now? He said, I feel like she's very unsolid. Theo is ignorant, boy. So then he started running down the attributes of both Carmen and Dakia. He said, but you know, with Carmen, I don't feel like she's intentional. I feel like they only talk about me, so I feel like I'm being sized up. P.O. always surprises me in these deliberations. Do you hear me? I mean, but then again, you did seem like that salad was more important than her last episode. So, I mean, there's that. So Carmen was like, I'm kind of shocked with this one. He said, Paul. She said, yeah, I know what your name is. Okay, Paul. She said, yeah, I would ask him questions about his dates and he would tell me, don't worry about it, stay out of his business. She said, but I was just trying to have, casual conversation. She said, I feel like he's questioning my integrity. That's what she's saying in her confessional. So then she said, also, I asked him about his date with Dakia and I asked him how he went and he said, ugh. And the way that Paul's eyes bucked when she said that, baby, I was hollering. He looked like he had just gotten caught by his mom with his hand in the cookie jar. He looked like he had just got through getting in trouble. So she said, I asked him, was something wrong? And he said, and she said, like it wasn't a pleasant experience. So Tommy said, he said that it wasn't great because he just said the date was great. Paul said, can I interject? She said, no. And let me bring some more receipts. Ooh, child, the tea is piping hot. Okay, let's get into it. She said, he said that I need to be with a certain woman that looks a certain way. What? Baby, Dakia is beautiful and very well put together. So I don't know what he's talking about. He said he didn't want to think about how to get aroused and he is squirming in his chair at this point. Baby, this messy as hell. So Tommy said, so he was talking about Miss Dakia. She said, well, he said certain women just weren't his style. So then he calls BS. My thing is this. He said you weren't intentional. Why does that warrant you bringing Dakia down? Why are you asking about the other dates anyway? And Paul, let me get you all the way together real quick, because I believe partially that you said this. Just like you said she likes to get thugged out after 9 p.m. and you ain't fooling me. And I ain't gonna never forget that. I just wish that Carmen would have addressed him without it being at the expense of Dakia, because what does that have to do with you being intentional? You bringing her down has absolutely nothing to do with how Paul feels about you. Girl. So Tommy said, did you say that? He said, I did say I like women sexy, but I never said that she couldn't do that for me. So he's telling her that she don't need to know what's going on when he goes out on dates. She needs to worry about herself. And I agree with that. She said, I just need to know. Why do you need to know? Why? To compare? Girl, keep your eyes on your own paper. So then Dakia tries to interject and Carmen didn't want her to say anything. So Tommy said, so Dakia, how do you feel about that? She said, I believe Paul. I don't trust a word that comes out of Carmen's mouth. Ooh, we child, the girls is fighting. Carmen has had it out for Dakia from day one. She is very threatened by her for some reason. I could name some reasons, but Carmen, get yourself together, honey. If you feel as confident about yourself as you claim, you wouldn't all the time have to bring down Dakia and the other women. It just ain't making no sense to me. She said, Carmen is bitter. This is what Dakia is saying in her confessional. And she's trying to ruin my connection with Paul. Child, not y'all having a fussing and a fighting over Paul. Okay. So Dakia said, when it comes to arousal, sexiness doesn't always have to be on display and classiness is always in style. I know that's right, honey. I know that's right, child. You better speak your speech, honey. He likes his women classy, not showing all the assy. Shout out to Martin. Why are you so worried about whether or not this woman is sexy? And girl, you think because you push them boobs up to the sky in this god-awful denim shirt that's sexy? Okay. So Carmen said, well, if you don't have it, you can't flaunt it. So then Dakia said, natural versus purchased. Baby, this is giving me lunchroom high school, okay? Paul, look at this mess you and old Blue Eyes done created. So then Tommy tells them to agree to have some respect for each other because, honey, y'all know Tommy hate fussing. Donovan, in his confessional, he was like, I'm confused. Like, are y'all really fighting over Paul? It's childish. And is. So then we move on over to Sabrina. She said, I just feel like I'm just choosing what's best for me. With Donovan, we have fun, but I just question if he's had time to heal. And I think he's not ready for a relationship that's committed to a woman at this time. I think he needs more time. She said, and with Demetrius, I feel like he's strong and he's solid and I trust him the most. Really? He looks shysty to me, like an old shifty-eyed character. I would never trust Demetrius, but that's just me. She said that he wants someone more passive and she doesn't know about being submissive. So Donovan is thrown off because he thought they were past the whole 3 months of him being divorced thing. So Demetrius feels like Sabrina is listening to what the friend said, but submissive is just a word. He said it doesn't speak to what I want in a relationship. Sir, lies. Okay? You literally stated in the confessional on that episode that her not wanting to be submissive may be a red flag. Your friend know you, child. So he said, I'm not going to give you 100% till I feel like we're in a relationship because I know you have a connection with Donovan as well. And she understands that, but she says she needs to see more of what he's going to do as opposed to just hearing about it. And again, she wants to be pursued, and he is not doing it because she likes Donovan as well. That's even more of a reason to do it, though, Demetrius. Men go after the woman that they want. Now, I think now that it's down to the wire, that Sabrina doesn't really like anybody. Like, it was fun at first because, it was new and all the men were vying for her attention. But she don't like none of these men, honey. She can go as well. Okay, you can take Tina, you can take Paul, you can take Dakia, and you can take Sabrina. As a matter of fact, just enjoy and Clifton on down a thing so we can sing the theme song. I can't wait to get to the theme song. That's all I care about, y'all. She don't want none of these people. So Tommy was like, well, Donovan, who's your strongest connection? Donovan said, actually it's Carmen. Things shifted a little bit on the trip because he was feeling like Demetrius was getting all the attention from Sabrina, and he doesn't mind that she likes Demetrius, but she just needs to be still aware of what she does when he's in her presence. Now you see how Tori was feeling, okay? This is what Sabrina does. She said in her confessional, Donovan going into attack mode, it just surprised me. I feel like he's embarrassed because I saw red flags with both him and Demetrius. No, ma'am. He is not embarrassed. I don't think that's what this is about. He's just stating the obvious. Every time you get in a situation with you, Demetrius, and another potential love interest, you give Demetrius your undivided attention. Therefore, and thus and such, after that happens, you want the other person to still feel the same way about you, and it don't work like that. If I knew you were feeling the other person, then I'm going to back off. And that's exactly what Donovan did. You feeding him cheese, pizza, and wiping the sides of his mouth and whatnot. Girl, who you think finna be like, I think our connection is still rock solid. That's what happened to Tori. But child, it gets better. So he said, and it's another thing too. So after the cameras went down, she kind of snapped out on me. She told me, you'll go home just like the last one did. Tommy said, oh. That's what I said too, Tommy. I told y'all something was off about Sabrina. I told y'all. She was like, that's not true. That's not true. Uh-huh. He said, so to me, I felt like the devil showed its face. Baby. So Tommy said, did you say that? She said, I never said that, and I never snapped. We were joking and we were bantering back and forth. Oh, okay, so did you say it jokingly or did you not say it at all? Girl. So she said, he said, who's next? And all I said was, it could be you. Child, this a fool. Everybody in their feelings, people lying. Oh, child, this is too much. So Tommy tells them, just take a breather, okay? Because, baby, he done got all the tea that he can take. He was like, everybody just take a breath. I know everybody's here looking for love, and we gonna figure this out. So then he tells them that these conversations needed to happen so they can get to the loving. Okay, you got to get through the tough things to get to the love. And he's going to talk to Christina. So, baby, he set up a meeting with Christina. But after an hour of waiting, he was like, this is unacceptable. So he tries to call her, no answer. Baby, that's rude as hell. That is so disrespectful and it's cowardly. Like, at least let him know that you no longer want to continue in the process. I wouldn't beg her to show up, honey. Just move forward. Child, please. I wish I would keep calling Tina. That ex told y'all that Christina will ghost y'all in a minute. Y'all gonna take heed to what that ex said. That ex was the truest ex that has been on any season. And that was the end of the episode. We can just go ahead and X out Christina because there's no sense in trying to reach out to her if she's not willing to participate. I mean, I really ain't got much else to say. The episode didn't really give a little something until the end. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what y'all thought about this episode. Meet me over there for Put a Ring on It. Don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.